Welcome back, guys. I didn't pay attention to my thing, but something popped up on my screen that wasn't supposed to be there. So we're gonna start this over again. If you didn't catch it already, or you caught it already, I apologize. So welcome everybody. I'm Ken from K Flame the Rail Fan. Welcome for the redo of blog number 3 for the week of 16 January 2021. I had to redo it because something popped up on the other one and I had to make sure I delete it and get it out of there. So I do apologize. So I'm going to start from the beginning again. If you guys saw this already, I do apologize. The other thing was deleted out of there and that other video was deleted out of there. So thank you for coming back to my page and coming with me and waiting for me. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Also hit that bell so you can be notified when I put out new content. And also, if you like this, hit the like button. Like button helps with the YouTube algorithm, let them know when I'm there. But our first news for the day, and guys, the reason I'm doing it again is so people can watch the repeat. The first news that I have today is the R.J. Corman locomotives have finally made it up to northeastern Pennsylvania. So, as most of you know, that R.J. Corman bought up a lot of the shoreline railroads up in northeast Pennsylvania. They bought up the Luzerne, Susquehanna, the Lehigh Railway, and also bought up the Owego and Hartford and Owego line up near Binghamton. And they've been waiting for their locomotives to get up through the area for quite a bit. And they finally made it up into the area. So these are the locomotives that came up. So the new ones, that's an SW1200, and then the other one is a DP38-2. They came through on both 11Z and 12Z, the north and south trains going through Taylor Yard a couple days ago. They actually went up to Binghamton, all the way up to Binghamton then one day, and then they came back down from Binghamton back into Taylor Yard, and then the locals delivered them to where they need to go. It looks like that SW1200 is going to be going to Luzerne, Susquehanna, and the GP38 is sitting up in Sayre, which that would tell me that it's going to be up for the Lehigh Railway. I don't know if anything else is going to be coming into the area, but a lot of us have been trying to get out, trying to get the pictures of some of these railroads before they're painted red. I've got a source close that pretty much said they haven't heard anything if they're going to be taking the other locals and repainting them or doing anything with them. But as of right now, they're staying in their current colors. And if you guys can try and get out and get some pictures, the two that they have, the 1201 is a former Wabash unit, and the 600 is a former Boston and Maine locomotive. So if you can get out and check those out and get pictures of them, and also the one that I got a video of, the number 50, that's a former Pennsylvania Railroad. As I mentioned in last blog, a lot of these locomotives have a lot of heritage underneath that facade or current paint scheme that they wear. And the heritage that we have up in our area with a lot of the locomotives is pretty neat. But that's news on R.J. Corman. The locomotives have finally made it up into the area. I do not know when they're going to start running the trains with them. I know a lot of companies, when they get them or they get shifted around, they take them and look them over before they go back out on the rails. So, and also again, I'm going to re-put my PayPal in case anybody wants to donate. So we're going to move on to the next thing news. So this week, as I did some rail fanning, we had a notice that we had some interesting locomotives that were coming through our area, my area down here in West Norrington. There's a local train called H44 that runs east and west into Abrams Yard and up into Reading Yard and a couple other areas. and it had a couple of interesting locomotives with it, and we got out to try and catch them. And since I messed up on the one, I'll just bring this one up for you guys. We had an SD40-2 come through on that train. Number 3335 SD40-2 is a former Conrail unit, and it was originally built for Conrail and served most of its time on Conrail and the Norfolk Southern. I'll tell you what, this was a treat to see it come through the area. I actually caught it at Valley Forge National Historic Site next to the old Reading Station by Washington's headquarters. Catch a few trains coming through there, and the good fashion, that SD40-2 coming through the river valley sounded great. It was loud coming through the area, and I loved it. You can hear that thing coming from a mile away. But it was that one, and then the one in the back, the 5607, is a former GP38. I actually researched the wrong GP38 when I initially put this up here. So I don't know what that one's heritage is, but that is came through with that old Jeep and this old SD40-2, which was pretty neat. And Norfolk Southern Rail fan, I'll check your news here in 1 second as soon as we get back on this here. Chrome tab. I'll go into the next one. So our next bit of news that we have here, the Reading and Northern. So the Reading and Northern put out a. They've got a lot of news coming in actually from the Reading and Northern, which is pretty neat. First off, I'll show you. Not that one. This one. As soon as it comes up. They are not labeled for me. So this will be the first one to show you guys here. It doesn't matter, Ashley. Great job. Let's see it from Ms. Moss. This stuff is not. There we go. I have them open up in a tab here. Share the auto. There we go. So you guys should be able to hear this. This is not going as smooth as I wanted it to go. So what we have here, everybody saw last week, is that the Reading and Northern 2102 finally got up and started steaming. And this was one of her first hits here. She's breathing again. Gotta love that. But the other big news is that Reading and Northern, there was an article written up and was brought up, written in railfan.com, that page I told you guys about earlier. And those of you that didn't hear it, there's a new, hey Midquist, Midcoast Railfan. There's another rail page that's up. It's called railfan.com, and they've got a lot of awesome news on there. And this is where I got a lot of my stuff from. And I printed this out. Right in Northern has growth in time of COVID. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article here. If you guys want to, you can go check out the article on railfan.com. But basically, while other railroads, like Class 1s and Norfolk Southern railroads, saw a decrease in their profits and their movements and cargo, they Reading Northern was able to keep going. Well, Norfolk Southern had 11% drop off. Reading Northern had a slight increase in their car loads, and their revenues were up almost 4% for last year, which is pretty good. And they're up hauling more than 34,000 carloads. They had an increase in a 54% increase in carloads during the pandemic, which is nice. A couple of other things that they did throughout the year is they got that new bridge over the Nescahoning all built up. They bought 17 brand new locomotives off the Norfolk Southern. They laid more than 34,000 ties. Andy Mola, the CEO of Reading Northern, bought additional 143 40 cars, rail cars, for their interstate service. They also saw a big increase in their coal industry. And they also have a storage warehouse in Newton Ransom, and they had a big increase in storage and everything in there as well. But they did pretty well for themselves last year, which is great for the local railroading. When do you think the DLGPA will be running? And also the H8, something it's former Lackawanna. Well, the GP8, you guys seem to be asking that question every week. I don't know when it's supposed to be up. I know Don Colangelo, he's the main shop guy. He keeps posting things up on the Delaware Lackawanna rail page on the process of it. They just put the new front pilot on it. That's just about finished. It does run, but it still needs some cosmetic work and some lights as far as I know, but I don't know when it's going to exactly be up. And after that one, the H8 6600 is slated to be in the line for one of the next runs. But I don't know when they're going to be working on them or when they're going to be fixing them up. But the GP38 or the GP8, hopefully by the end of this year or the middle of this year, it'll be up and running. Union Pacific saw its profits go up as well in 2020. The DL, as far as I know, is doing pretty good itself. Got an award during last year. I can't remember what award it was, but its freight had increased quite a bit going up the Pocono line and also the Carbondale line. They're moving a lot of sand cars now. They're moving a lot of propane. Yep, what you guys saw there, they did get the T1 working. She's up and breathing again on her own. They just got to put the cab on her and start putting her back together. I don't know when she's going to be running, but let's all keep our fingers crossed that she'll be up and running by springtime or by the summertime, so we can all go and enjoy her this year. But yeah, they got her going. The 2102 finally breeds again. But if you guys want to check that out, go to railfan.com. And this is the name of the thing, or you can go on the Reading and Northern Facebook page, and somebody has this posted on there. And the page is written so I don't get nailed for plagiarizing or anything. It was written by a William C. Van Tuono. It was a pretty good article that he put out. And also last week, Reading and Northern had an accident too. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. $37.13 probably has a long time to go. unfortunately. During COVID, they haven't been working on it. They are starting to get parts back, the outsourced out of things, but just don't know how much longer it's going to be. There we go. But we all want to see that thing rolling again. Yeah, the wreck was in Hazel Township with the DL and a box truck. I don't have the particulars, but a truck went through an intersection, and train hit it. Everybody walked away. Nobody was hurt. But yeah, it was an accident. So it's on the Reading and Northern Rail page, Rail fans as well. Did any of you guys watch Virtual Rail Fan at all this week? Last night in particular? The train, I believe, was 34A at the Horseshoe Curve. They had the Virtual Rail Fan on there. And a train went into emergency 6 different times going eastward down the mountain through the curve. And I actually got to witness one of them. And when that air rushes out, it sounds like a huge explosion, and the train just comes to a dead stop. But I only caught the one, but it reading up when I went back this morning, when I woke up, it went into emergency 6 different times. I don't know what the outcome was. There's speculation that it was a busted coupler, which caused the things to break. Did we hear an accent? There's no accent. That accident was the RNN Lockhorn Rail Fan. So you guys still with me? Another article that I found this interesting. Again, I found that on that Rail Fan page. Is a Norfolk and Southern business car number 300 rolls along the Schuylkill River. It found a new home. This is a story by M.T. Burkhart. The Norfolk somewhere. This business car number 300 has actually been sitting in Philadelphia in storage, and it was recently pulled out. It's a former B&O engine, or a B&O car. It was pulled out by a CSX engine GP40-2 6129, which was built for the B&O, and they thought it was pretty cool for a B&O engine to pull a former B&O passenger car. Well, it's painted up for the BO. It's a original Norfolk and Western, but it's heading to Selkirk, New York, and it's eventually going to be forwarded to Indiana for restoration. There's a nonprofit organization 2019 formed. It's called the Norfolk and Western Business Car 300 Preservation Society to accept the donation of the car and to get it to start getting it worked on. But again, it's another nice little thing, and it's another piece of history that's being saved rather than going to the scrapper's torch. Delaware River Valley just sold their 1863 to the Delaware and Maryland. It's 1068 in May. Today I caught CSX Seaboard System emblem 5461. Nice. Close to me, there was a lot of guys out rail fanning the Southern Heritage Unit 8099 was out on the tracks today. It didn't come near my area, but it went through the tracks that go through Hershey, and a couple of people caught it. So I'm hoping that maybe it'll come back through this way again. And yeah, I saw that that 1863. I actually wanted to get out there to see that engine because it's a veterans engine. So if it's going to go to Maryland, Delaware and Maryland, maybe it'll be a little bit closer, and I can get out there to get some shots of it. I know it was on NS train earlier this week. People were taking pictures of it, but again, I couldn't get out to check it out. But yeah, that is the veterans unit. And anything veterans or fire department or anything, I support them 100% because I am also a veteran and a first responder, former firefighter, but work with an ambulance and everything. So I'm for all that stuff. So I like to try and get the pictures of that as much as I can. And for you model railroaders like me, right now I can't grab them. It's just driving me nuts. Scale Trains and Atherton, I believe both of them just released, or Mike's Train House and Scale Trains just released the CSX heritage units, the 911 unit, the police unit, and their veterans unit. And I believe somebody also released the Montana Rail Links veterans unit as well. And those are some that I'd like to find, and hopefully in a couple of months they'll still be available, and we can grab them. To Lower Delaware. Norfolk Southern Rail fan, you'll have to keep me or if you know it's going to be running, see if I can get down there and go check it out. I would like to get pictures of that. So here's a question for you guys. Have some fun with this instead of doing all the, the bull rush stuff and everything here. I'm gonna put the question in the thing here. Second, what is the most unusual locomotive you have ever seen? And I don't mean, like the Lorem or anything like that. I mean, it could be a paint scheme or it could be radio equipment was set up a different way in this logo, however you want to say it. But what was the most unusual locomotive that you have ever seen? And I'll tell you about my two once I get you guys on. Anybody that's watching this in the replay, if you get up to this point, put down in the comments what your what the most unusual locomotive is for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be refurbished, and from what I got from the coach out of that thing there, it's going to be painted back up to the Norfolk and Western, and its name built by Coleman, 1917. I'm trying to see they if they have the name of this that car. Well, right now it's nicknamed the Ocean. Doodlebug is the. Whose Doodlebug did you see? Which one? Norfolk Southern Rail fan. How about next CSX C40 on the Pan Am in Portland, Maine, with the nose painted the same color as the UP George Bush locomotive, and the end painted bright pink. Okay. Bright pink. That's interesting. Delaware, Maryland runs, but I believe it's Monday through Friday, early morning to mid-afternoon hours. Okay. The little gas car at Strasburg Railroad, pulling 2 coaches. Okay. I Lackawanna Rail fan, you retracted that? And now go on the DL. Yeah, he's got 3 of them. The GP8, the Block 1 EMC number 426, and the well, yeah, that'd be the only 2. Scratch that. There's 2 of them. That's my count there, and they're all going to be painted up in the later colors, the black with the yellow on it. Cool. And I'm going to show you guys this also high rail excavator pulling a few grain cars down the siding. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to show you guys that that web page that I was talking about. It's called Rail News Archives. It's funny. When you guys are talking, I see it come through my phone first before the computer. When I go to change things, screens on my computer to share with you guys, it goes to my computer first, and it takes a while to go on to your thing. But this is a nice little page to get some news on things that are going on. How about a high rail truck going down the a couple months ago, Stourbridge line up at Honesdale had a meetup. Well, they have meetups all over the place, but this is the last one in our area. Was they had there's a couple of those high rail cars in the area, and they did a ride from Honesdale down to Lackawaxen, which is pretty neat. JP Videos actually has a video on that. They invited him along, and he got to take that ride on those high railers, those gang cars, which is pretty neat. The EMC Lock 1 Rail Fin, if you get a chance to, it's at Steamtown. It's in the it's actually sitting inside the roundhouse. It's in one of the first 2 stalls, right next to where they usually load up for the Scranton Limited there. It doesn't exactly look right. Yeah, it was when was it? I think it might have been the 2015 Rail Fest. They actually had it running, and it was doing a little short little shuttle back and forth. I think they had the caboose hooked up to it, the caboose hop with it, and that's the last time I saw it running. After that, it went back down to the DL for a while, and then I didn't see it again. Then all of a sudden, it ended up back up inside the roundhouse compound itself. And then during COVID, I guess they pushed it into the building. So I don't know if it has or needs any additional repairs. But yeah, it's sitting inside the roundhouse right now. It's a neat little locomotive. There's actually a photo on eBay right now, which I can't get or go after right now. It's a picture of it. It's in its old paint scheme. The Baltimore Mining Corporation. Before I went back to the DL got it. But if you want to check it out, it's on a bid. It's on eBay right now. So got Baltimore Mining. Are there? I just have to get out. Once I start this new job, on my only days off are going to be during the week, Tuesday and Wednesdays. So I won't be able to do much during the weekends. But if they come through, we'll check them out. They usually find out about them last minute, or somebody. I follow 24.5 mile marker 24.5 down here in Harrisburg East. mile marker 24.5 is actually a mile marker like about 2 miles up the road from where I'm at right now. And the guy had started it, and then NS Harrisburg East, of course, is my area down here. And that's about the only way you usually find out that there's heritage units coming through this way. And sometimes, yeah, you guys do put the stuff up on my page and let me know something's coming through, which I do appreciate very much. So, Norfolk Southern Rail fan, you said you had some news. Pop it in there, and we can discuss it. I'll still be able to do my live streams on Saturdays because I actually get out of work in the earlier evening. So it's not going to matter much into that, which I'm happy about. So I can still do the streams on Saturday nights. Plus, Wednesday nights, there's other guys that have their shows, and I don't want to step on them, especially they're ones that have helped my page out. That's one of the big ones. Sparky runs his on Saturdays. But yeah, I'm going to keep mine running for every Saturday at 8:30 in the evening. And like I said, I tried starting the one earlier because the football game's on to see what's going on right now. Tonight is the the Ravens game is tonight. That's another big one. Let me make sure I got all your stuff here. Southern Rail fan. But yeah, I didn't get to tell you my these are older locomotives. Back in the later 90s, mid to later 90s, down to Scranton, when they first put in that grain elevator, Canadian Pacific actually used to run the Pocono line and take the grain themselves up the Pocono line, and they'd have DL engineers on the trains with them. But it used to be Canadian Pacific power that took the grain train, come off the main line and head up to Pocono Summit to the grain elevator there. That went on for a while, and then the DL just completely took it over when they started getting all their 6 axles. But 2 engines that used to come through that area quite a bit during that time frame were both Canadian Pacific SD40-2s. Now, you might ask, Ken, what's so big about an SD40-2 in that era? Well, one was a white SD40-2 with red Canadian Pacific or CP Rail lettering on it. And the other one was a former Union Pacific engine, still painted in its gray over yellow paint scheme with the red CP Rail logo on the side of it. They used to come through quite a bit. When I used to sit down in Taylor Yard, they'd come through. And, of course, you'd see them on the Pocono line doing the grain train. And it was in a rail pace, which I can't find that one. It might be at of my brother's place in my with my library. But there is a picture of the old DL CP trains running those things there. And but yeah, those are 2 cool trains. They used to come through the area during the mid to later 90s. And I used to like to try and catch them. I used to like chasing the trains during that time. There's a lot of stuff that used to come through here. The CN's heritage units. Oh yeah, they're already in service. They've been running for over a few months now. They've all been on the road. Which one was it? The Elgin Juliet, the orange one, whatever that one is. That one's actually been caught in Pennsylvania a few times already. But yeah, they're already on the line. I absolutely love those locomotives. They did a really good job on their heritage units. Not saying that Norfolk Southern, these other companies didn't, but their engines look really sharp. I'd still like to see somebody do. I know there's still one GP38 in Delaware and Hudson Lightning Stripes, but I'd like to see somebody actually do one of these newer locomotives up in a Delaware and Hudson Lightning Stripe locomotive as a heritage unit, which would have to be Canadian Pacific. Yeah, mid coast up in your area, you should see them quite a bit. They're flowing through that area quite often. There's a guy who does photography, railroad photography, and I've actually got him as a friend. His name is Kevin Burkhalter, and he's caught a lot of trains up that way. The Pan Am stuff and everything. He takes awesome pictures. That's where I post most of my pictures. I use Facebook to post most of my pictures. If any of you guys are friends with me on my Facebook page, it's Kenneth Flanagan. That's my page. Or if you're on my group is Rail Fanning Forum. There's another one called that's owned by Richard Burnham. It's called Rail Fanning Adventures. He's got a good page too. Mine's Rail Fanning Forum. That's where I post most of my pictures on there and kind of keep a database right now. I'm starting to break up some of my pictures and put them in toward railroads, so people don't have to look through the entire album. They can just like right now, I just did an Erie Lackawanna. They can just go look at the Erie Lackawanna and see all the Erie Lackawanna photos that I have. But that's where I keep most of them right now. But what I was telling you guys a couple days ago, I'm trying to get all descriptions and everything written up. But this is one of my books right here of all the slides I've collected throughout the years. These are a couple of other ones that I just did. And then if you look over here, there's another one full of slides. And then I have the stuff on digital that I've taken pictures of my own. And I have all them. And then over in a box over here, I have all the prints that I've collected. I've got prints that I've collected from, they were taken of railroads from the 1940s and 1930s, the 50s and everything. But they were over there. And I've got most of them scanned up and I got to get them up as well. But I've got a pretty good collection of train stuff here. Well, yeah, I haven't tapped into Instagram or anything yet. I just started doing a LinkedIn. I do an Instagram page, but I hardly go over there. The only one that I use is Facebook and YouTube. Those are pretty much the only two I use right now. Where I caught those SD 40-2s? Is that what you're talking about, Norfolk Southern? The pictures that I showed earlier? I hate the delay when I ask a question and it doesn't come through right away, and I kind of have to sit still a little bit to wait for the answer. Yeah, Midcoast Rail Fan. That's years of collecting. I mean, there's people that have bigger collections than me. The only thing that stinks is when you find something like in my current situation, I can't buy a whole lot of stuff right now due to my predicament. But I hate. Well, let me put it this way. Some of you guys are from the Northeast, Mid-Coast. I know you're not, but I'll explain it. I also collect fire engine slides as well. But here's something that I found. You can get slides from the same railroad from all over Pennsylvania. Anything that is a picture or comes from Scranton, mainly the Scranton area, all these people that sell things or sell photos, They usually do buy it now. Anything from the Scranton area, they put up for a bid, and you have to get into a bidding war with somebody to try and win the photo. And I've lost some really good photos with the bidding wars, and I can't stand it. But when it comes to anything from the Scranton area or northeastern Pennsylvania, there it is on high demand. So if you guys ever get into, and I'm telling you guys this, and this can make you guys potential, competitors against me for bidding on photos. But if you see something from the Scranton area, even if it's not trains, if it's something showing us something historical with the Scranton area, anything, grab it up. If it's a decent price, grab it up, because it's in high demand. But I do try to collect a lot of stuff from the Anthracite area and where I come from. And since I'm down here now, I collect stuff from down here as well. But the stuff that comes from the Scranton area is in high demand. And it's weird. And it's Scranton compared to other railroads and everything else. It's just, it amazes me. And if you guys get into the collecting of photographs and slides and everything like that, and negatives, you'll see what I mean. You'll find a couple of Scranton ones that'll slip through there, and there'll be a buy it now. But the majority of them, that'll be the same seller selling all this other stuff, and then all of a sudden he's putting this up for a bid, trying to get the highest amount that he can out of that, because people will pay money for the Scranton stuff, which I have my limits on, and if you want to pay a certain amount of money for that stuff, that's good for you. But it's neat. But Norfolk Southern Rail fan, something to go back to you. It can get busy. Like up around everywhere else, Norfolk Southern has cut back its trains, or the amount of trains that comes to the area, and now they have longer runs. That area, it's actually Valley Forge National Historic Site. And there's an old Reading station down there. It used to be a Reading passenger station, but it closed up in the 1950s. And it sits right across along the lawn from Washington's headquarters, where General George Washington stayed for the encampment for Valley Forge. But the Norfolk Southern tracks run right there. They run all the way up down toward the west, up into Pottstown and into Allentown and Reading. And the other way, they run out to Abrams Yard, which sits in Upper Marion, not far from that location, and all the way down into New Jersey and other spots. Average, you can get about 5 trains through there, but there are certain days you can get a few more. The 2 largest ones that come through there are called 39G and 38G. And you have 26T, 26E. C6E is a special petroleum one that they added that comes through. There's a coal train that occasionally comes through there. There's a lot of intermodals. There's the local that come through, and the local usually goes out west, and then it comes back east with different cars. That's H44. And then there's 500 series trains that come through, which are usually stone trains or some other specials. But we'll see on average 5 trains come through there a day. And those 2 big ones that I mentioned, the 38G and 39G, those ones almost always have DPUs on them now these days. And that is the Harrisburg East line. Oh, I don't know that question. Besides the Pittsburgh and the Reading lines, what other lines are busy? That I don't know. I don't know what other lines are busy. Actually, if you travel about 45 minutes north of where I'm at, there's another NS lines that goes through Macungie. That line is a little bit busier, and you can park right next up to the tracks on that one. They've actually made it's a little park. It's called Railroading Park, and they've got a little gazebo up there where you can go stand and watch trains and take pictures. And quite a few trains come through there, a little bit more than where I'm at, and they come through fast. And they're on street level, so they have to go through a lot of street crossings. So usually when they're coming through there, they're blowing their horns and everything. But it's a little town called Macungie. So if you guys come down through this area, it's that's a spot to go check. And the shorelines that we have down here are the East Penn and the Pennsylvania Northeast. And the Pennsylvania Northeast is actually part of the New Hope and Ivyland Railroad. Strasburg Railroad has been hauling revenue freight for a long time. They bring in lumber, feed, grain, and a couple other things, but it's actually pretty big, and they've gotten a lot busier. They actually bought another switch type locomotive that they're refurbing to help with the revenue service. Because they're busy. They're bringing in quite a few train loads daily for their revenue service. And if you go there during their busier time, during the week in the summertime when they're open every single day, if you stick around, besides seeing all the excursion trains, you'll see that that revenue train as well. Stuff that they have daily. Harrisburg East Dispatcher on my scanner app. I'll have to check it out. How often does East Penn run out by you during the week? East Penn, I do not know schedules yet. I'm still trying to figure out where to go rail fan that railroad. But one of the places, it's all over down here. One of the places I'm going to try and go, I'm going to try and catch it from where it originates in Pennsburg and goes up to Emmaus and interchanges with NS back there, and then it takes its load back down to North or Pennsburg. It's got places in Kensington, Oxford, and a couple other areas where it runs, but I don't know the whole line yet. And the Harrisburg or Pennsylvania Northeast runs through Telford, interchange with East Penn, Lansdale, goes up to New Hope and Ivyland. Pretty much covers that whole area. They're the Pennsylvania Northeast are the ones that have the two of my favorite engines up there. They're ST40-2Ws or ST40-2Ms. They're the ST40-2s with the wide cabs. They're both painted up matching sisters now. They're nicknamed Tiggers. It's like a bright, can't explain. It's going to sound weird, but it's black stripes with orange stripes going through it. You know, it looks like a tiger. It's an orange. This is going to sound weird. It's a dark, bright orange. It's a bright orange, but it's dark. It meshes well with the black. It's pretty neat. Yeah, they might not have had anything come through with freight cars, but it's usually off to the if you watch Virtual Rail Fan when they're shooting down toward the engine house, it's off to the left-hand side where they come and bring their freight in. And their 8616 is the one that brings their freight back and forth. So again, if you're lucky enough, you can probably catch that train taking the revenue out in between the passenger excursions, which again is pretty neat to see. I've caught it a few times. I actually caught it with that Maine Eastern 764 when it was on loan down in Strasburg about 5 years ago, and that was neat seeing that GP7 going down Strasburg's tracks for the revenue. So, oh, there's 101 things on there. Okay. Another one that I wanted to show you guys the East Penn Railroad, like we were just talking about, just got a new locomotive. You guys saw this a little bit earlier. It is currently sitting up in Quakertown. It's a former Canadian National GP7. If you guys want to see a quick video on it, I didn't get up there. One of my buddies, his page is RJ78 Productions. He did a quick little 2-minute video on it, and there was a maintenance man working on it, sitting up there. But it's sitting right outside the Quakertown train station right now. But yeah, that's a new addition. Lackawanna Rail fan, I still have you. So yeah, that's one of their additions that they just picked up. I thought you guys might have wanted to see that. Fixing up 2G 44-ton switchers over the winter time. Nice. Switch back over to my mug here so you can see me. Hi. So, with you guys' collections, and if anybody that made it this far on the replay, put it down in the comments. Out of your train collection, what is your favorite locomotive that you have? Louisville and Beaver Railroad in U.S. Army units. Okay. The Steamtown has a Louisville and Beaver consolidation steam locomotive, consolidation type, sitting back behind their shops. It's actually a very unique engine. It's actually one, I don't know why, but I actually I like that locomotive. It'll never run again. It needs a lot of work, a lot of TLC. But it was originally supposed to go to a Mexican railroad, and it never went down there. Something fell through, and then it worked on the Louisville and Beaver Railroad, and it actually helped with getting through floods when they had floods and everything down there, and had a very, very lucrative career. And Steamtown ended up with, and it's sitting in the back behind the shops. Pretty neat little locomotive. All right. So Mid-Coast Rail fan writes, my favorite would be an Otter Tail Valley Railroad GP9. And Norfolk Southern Rail fan writes, a Conrail unit and a Santa Fe unit, both HO scale. I've had them since 1994. Very nice. My favorite unit, which I worked hard for, I got it about 5, 6 years ago. When Ather and Genesis released their run, I got an Ather and Genesis big boy. And I got the replica of the 4012, the one that's at Steamtown. And I actually got to run it on Bernie's layout at his train display at his home. And it ran really nice. Had good pulling power. A really nice engine. That's one of my favorite ones in my collection. But guys, do you guys have anything else for me? Don't have anything for games again this week. Trying to see if I could find something. And the oldest train that I have is actually an old gauge train. It was built in the 1940s. It's an old Marx train set, New York Central train set, and it still runs. That's the oldest train that I have in my collection. Do I have it there? It's right there. Actually, it was on top. I pointed to the Challenger. Big box. Can we see the engine? They pack it up really nice. Pulling out of the box, that's what's taking me so long. $4,012. I don't have any Lackawanna steam locomotives, but this is the Athearn Genesis big boy now. Broadway Limited just released theirs, and people like them. I have not bought that one because this is the one. This is the one that I wanted a couple years ago, and the big one or the one from Broadway Limited is a lot more expensive than this one is, and I'm happy with this one. It's detailed, it makes sound, and I take care of this one. This I treasure this one. Took me a long time to save up for, and I was finally able to get it. Now the bad part about it is that the seller put a signature on it, So I wasn't home at the time. Ooh. Just tipped over. It was on the ground, don't worry. Yeah, I tell you guys I'm being careful and I'm trying to do my part, enjoying it. And it slips out of my, tips over on me. But I had to chase this thing down all over the place. I actually had to go all the way up into Lansdale. Or no, I got this when we were out in, still living out in Illinois. So I had to drive over almost an hour to get to the place that where they sent this thing to. So I was finally able to get it. I was happy, and it runs beautiful. And Bernie actually, when we ran, we tried doing a double header. Bernie actually had another version of the Big Boys. Tricks made their own version of the Big Boy as well. I've never been to Trains and Lanes. One place I've never been to, but it's close by. I do know that. That's the Big Boy Genesis. Yeah, to go back to your thing, I don't have any Lackawanna steam locomotives. The only Lackawanna that I have are the two E89s up there by Purge 2000, and I have to send them out to be to get DCC. But I just cleared out a lot of my stuff not too long ago because I was switching everything over to DCC. The stuff that I have here now is stuff that I'm going to eventually send out to have DCC and sound put into them. It's so much better. It adds more to the hobby. And when you're buying these trains anymore, it almost pays. It pays a lot better to go the extra mile and get DCC and sound, because it's only a couple bucks if you go with DCC and on sound. And even just buying the generic thing, it's actually worth it more to get the DCC and sound. Now there are some engines that I disagree with. They flood the market with them, or they don't put too much on the market and they charge you an astronomical amount of money. And I waited a while on it. The Union Pacific 1943, the Union Pacific salute to the veterans. I waited a little bit until the prices came down. And it took me a while. And when they finally came down, it took me a while because they were almost sold out. But people were selling them for over $300. And it's like, wow. And then they sell another veterans unit that came from the same company, same special, for a lot less. And it's just amazing. There's no consistency in the hobby. Everybody's trying to push their own thing. And even within the same company, there's no consistency with their prices. So I usually wait until things start coming down, but then I take the chance of if they do a low run of not getting the locomotive or the car or anything when I'm ready to finally buy. Now we're up to 6 people. Welcome to the show. Those of you that are on here, just make sure you hit that like button for me. And those of you, I put out some news things that I caught during the week. If you want to watch the replay on them, there's things on RJ Corman, some things on Reading and Northern about how good of a year they had last year. Some rail fanning stuff that we're talking about. And here's one last piece of news that came out too. Pennsylvania just approved, signed like a couple $1 billion worth of bills for railroads for railroad improvements. Yeah, I have the I've got the Norfolk Southern Veterans Unit and the 911 unit, the SD60. I don't have the GP38 yet. I want to get, which is out there right now, the Bachman, not the Bachman, the Amtrak Veterans units. Right now, they just have the new EM7. I think it is the electronic, the one that runs on electricity, and then occasionally you find that the P42, the Genesis version, is out there too. But usually it's a custom paint, and they want a lot of money for that too. And of course, the 3 CSX1 units that came out just recently came out. I'd like to get those because they're, again, veteran firefighter, support all that stuff. But that NSGP38-2, that one or two of them still show up on the thing right now to have them. ACS, there you go. Thank you. But yeah, there's a lot of them out there, and like I said, Montana Rail Link did a veterans unit as well, and then Canadian Pacific, their veterans units are pretty neat as well. They made 5 different versions for the troops, and they linked them between the American and the Canadian armies. And there's some nice ones. I caught the Air Force one a couple months ago. State of Maine gave Pan Am Railways $7 million this summer to rebuild several bridges along their main line. And other train news. I didn't catch everything, but I mainly watched the Delaware Lackawanna. The DL is going to be using their money to put in a 3,900 foot siding, and the rest is going to be used for fixing ties along the lines. Yeah, it would be neat if the DL did a veterans unit. It would be nice if they all did veterans units. At least something. The only one was that company that got rid of their stuff. I haven't followed Amtrak a whole lot, so I don't know any of the new news yet on the train sets. I don't have anything on that. One person which I haven't seen in here in a while is Jerry Sett. You guys know who he is. Some of you guys know who he is. He knows quite a bit that's going on with the Amtrak line. He may have more information on that. I don't know where the siding's going, actually. If you go to that railfanning.com page that I showed you, you'll be able to check it out, because at the end of the article, they break down each company that's getting each railroad that's getting the money and what they're using it for. Yeah, I haven't seen those new Acela train sets at all yet. Zero. None. Zip, zero, zilch. But do you guys have anything else tonight? And those of you that started out on the other thing, I apologize. Some of you guys saw something that popped up that wasn't supposed to be that wasn't supposed to pop up, and I want to make sure I stopped the broadcast, cut that out, and I actually deleted that. I deleted that initial thing, so it's gone. When they weren't okay. But yeah, like I said, I apologize for that. You guys had to see that, and that's why I started this the whole thing over again. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I already put the PayPal thing up there. Oh. Copy. Here. To here to here. It's just railfan.com, guys. But everybody, if you don't have anything else, I'm going to break away. Next weekend will be my first weekend back to work in a while, and I'm still going to do these blogs. Unless I'm out camping or doing something, I won't be able to. That'll be the only times I won't be able to do these live shows, unless I have a good internet connection. But other than that, if you guys don't have anything, I'm gonna cut it out here. I'm gonna go watch the Ravens football game. And until next time, guys, I will see you down the line. All right. Be safe, guys.